Hi family. Sorry that I couldn't make it to Grandpa Ray's funeral and celebration of life. I pre-recorded this in the hopes that I could share some stories about Grandpa, and if I'm not there in person, it's probably because my wife and I planned our very first family hunting trip for caribou up off the Denali Highway, and that season is from like the 10th to the 30th, and I could only do it if the kids could make their first day of school, which is in late August. And so that's about right now, I suspect, if you're listening to this recording. And we're probably out on a wild adventure in the side-by-side that absolutely had to have a heater. And for good reason. Anyway, one of the stories I wanted to share is when Grandpa would always talk about taking me fishing whenever he visited Alaska. He promised he'd take me fishing, and then one day we were down there visiting him, and I don't know, maybe I was 10 or 12 or something. I'm not really sure exactly how old I was. And I was in elementary school, though. We had just read a book called How to Eat Fried Worms. And these elementary kids dare each other to eat like Nightcrawler or something. So that was kind of in the back of my mind. And of course, Grandpa said, well, we've got to get some bait. And he put these electrical rods in the ground, and it drove some electricity and brought these night crawlers up. I think it was in Idaho, or maybe it was in Washington. It was near the Snake River. That's where we were going to go fishing. And all these night crawlers came up, and I had been practicing eating worms. The small Alaska ones that land in the little mud puddles in our gravel driveway when it rained. And I thought I could probably take on a night crawler. And without mentioning anything to anybody, I tried to suck one down, and it was pretty long. I mean, that thing was good size and had some girth to it. And Grandpa came out the back door of the garage, and he saw this, what he thought was a rod, one of the electrical rods in my mouth. He just freaked out. What are you doing? And it was really just a worm. He had no idea why I was trying to eat a worm. That poor guy, he almost had a heart attack. And anyways, we went fishing, and while it wasn't, I don't remember anything really memorable about the fishing trip, but I remember always wanting to do that fishing trip because he always promised he'd take me on a fishing trip whenever I came down to see him. And God, it was great. It was the anticipation, probably more than anything. You know, it's like playing catch with your parents or with your grandpa, and it was meaningful. He was a good grandpa. Even though I didn't get to spend that much time with him, he was cool. So, love you, Grandpa.